August is a very powerful, jam-packed month filled with so much cosmic energy, astrological energy as well. Actually, happy Egyptian New Year. The Egyptian New Year is on August 1st, and August 1st is also the super full moon. So we have a super full moon on August 1st, we have a super full moon at the end of August, and we have the heliacal rising of Sirius, Sirius is the brightest star in our sky. And our ancestors would view Sirius as our spiritual sun. Across the different cultures, it wasn't just the Egyptians, it was many different cultures in Mesoamerica, in Australia, and around the world. They viewed Sirius as our spiritual sun. And what is so fascinating, again, right, we're moving through this evolution of consciousness, that Sirius is moving closer to our Earth. In terms of light years, Sirius is constantly moving closer to our Earth, which means that we will have more influence from Sirius and our galactic family as the years progress. Also, this 26,000-year-old cycle that I'm mentioning, it's connected to the precession of the equinox, so basically how long it takes for the Earth to rotate on her axis. And for the last 12 to 13,000 years, we've been pointing towards a polar star, and now that polar star is going to shift back into Vega, which is the Lyran, and the Lyran starseeds are our galactic ancestors. Like, we come from them. We come from all of the 12 main starseed families, but the Lyrans are our first ancestors, sort of like the people of Africa. The people of Africa were the first humans on Earth, and we can all trace our genetics, trace our ancestry back to Africa because we all originated from them. It's similar concept, but basically the Egyptian New Year is on August 1st this year. Every year it changes. So back when Kemet, ancient Egypt, Kemet is its original name, back when Kemet was at its height, let's say, about 12 to 13,000 years ago, the heliacal rising of Sirius, what it means, it's when Sirius rises before the sunrise above our horizon for the first time, right? Because the Earth spins, so the stars change. And so back in ancient Egypt, in Kemet, this heliacal rising of Sirius would happen in July. So 12, 13,000 years ago, the Egyptian New Year would happen during the first week or second week of July. But again, because our Earth is spinning and the stars are changing, now this is happening on August 1st. And every year it changes depending on the movement of our planet and the star Sirius. I forget the name of the astronomer who calculated this, but on August 1st is when Sirius is 30 degrees above the horizon, and Giza, where the pyramids are in Egypt, modern day Egypt, is 30.31 degrees above the horizon. So this is happening in Egypt on August 1st. I'm based in the west coast of the United States in Nevada, so for me this is going to happen on August 4th. And so this is something that changed in Chicago. I think it'll be on August 6th, I believe. And so it depends on where we are in the world, right? And that's why we have to get nuanced. We have to talk about the nuances when we think about astrological events. I've heard a lot of talk about the galactic New Year starting on July 26th, and so that's not something I'm very familiar with, because I believe that that's based on a Mayan calendar system where they calculated the galactic New Year beginning on July 27th, I want to say, and then July 26th would be a day out of time. But again, I'm not familiar with that calendar system. There are so many different calendar systems. I mean, even with the Egyptian calendar systems, there's like 4 of them, and even more of them, to be honest, but there's 3 to 4 most prominently used ones. And it's about all of us becoming more nuanced with a deeper understanding of how we connect with time and space. Because in the 3rd dimension, time and space, you know, we all need to come on this global meditation at 1 p.m. Pacific time, or whatever time it is in your side of the world. But when we connect with the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dimensional time and spaces, it works a little bit differently. And so it's I think one of the most important things when working with energy is that, yes, it is helpful to get the details and the logistics and the specifics. Yes, that part is important, the left, the logical brain, the analytical brain, but then also we have to, now it's more about becoming more in touch with our magnetic energy, the divine feminine energy within, and connecting with that intuitive energy. How did you feel this past week? Pay attention to that. Let me know in the chat, how have you been feeling the energy? It's fascinating because according to that Mayan calendar system, and again, even the Mayan calendar, there's not one Mayan calendar, there's many different Mayan calendar counting systems. Some are based on 13 days, some are based on other time frames, and it's just important for you to connect with the energy itself. So let's go back a little bit to talk about the super full moon on August 1st, or it could be July 31st depending on where you are in the world. On August 1st at 11:31 a.m. Pacific time, we have a super full moon, and this super full moon again is happening on the same day as the Egyptian New Year, according to where Giza is and Sirius is rising. That's going to happen on August 1st. So we have both of these events happening on the same day, which means August 1st is going to be a very powerful day for you to connect with your soul, connect with your intuition, take time to sit, to meditate, to do prayers, to do rituals, whatever way you like to connect with energy that feels at home, that feels comfortable for you. So that is on August 1st. And when the heliacal rising of Sirius happened in ancient Egypt, they viewed it as, they knew that whenever they saw this star rising above the horizon, that the Nile would flood. And that signified a period of abundance for the people of Kemet, of ancient Egypt. When this flooding of the Nile happened, people knew, oh, our crops are about to get a lot of abundance. And so the people of Kemet celebrated not just the New Year's, but they also celebrated as a period of abundance. So they would have festivals, rituals, ceremonies to celebrate this. So if you feel in alignment with that, this is a wonderful time for you to do some manifesting, some rituals, ceremony, meditations, affirmations, whatever way you feel like you want to work with this energy. The energy is fruitful right now for calling in more abundance into your life. Keep in mind that abundance is not just about the moolah. It's also about abundance of time, abundance of health, abundance of joy, abundance of support. So really get out of this narrow view, horse binder view of what abundance looks like, and really expand to receive more, because God's Source Spirit Creation wants to give us so much. This is a wonderful time of abundance. Also, just 7 days after the Egyptian New Year, the super full moon, we have the Lion's Gate portal. So the Lion's Gate portal, every year it happens on 8/8, and that's just humans like to do that. You know, we created the Gregorian calendar, and so numerologically 8/8 is the number of abundance. So if you look at the number 8 and you flip it on its side, it looks like the infinity symbol. And traditionally the 8/8 portal, the Lion's Gate portal, is connected to Lyra. So when we're talking about the Syrian portal, which has been open since the first week of July and it's still open, that's why I connect with our galactic family, right? The Syrians, the Lyrians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, etc., etc. There's so many of them to name. But basically, the Lion's Gate portal is going to also be flowing into our planet already. We're already starting to feel that energy. So we have the super full moon, the Sirius gateway, the Lion's Gate portal already flowing into our planet. So that can feel a little bit overwhelming, right? Let me know in the chat how you have been feeling this energy. Again, it's very important for us to tune into that energy directly, not just to hear people talk about it or to read about it, but like we have to connect with that energy directly to discern how it feels specifically for us. Because I can go ahead and tell you, hey, this super full moon that is happening on August 1st, in tropical astrology, it is an Aquarius full moon. And so you have to work with air, connect with your intelligence, connect with your communication. All of these two themes are connected to air. But in sidereal astrology, this super full moon on the 1st is in Capricorn, an earth sign. So it's very much about grounding, finding your roots, really coming into your body, getting out of the mind. And so with this energy, it can also feel conflicting, because in tropical astrology, it's in an air sign, Aquarius, sidereal, it's in Capricorn, an earth sign, and air and earth oppose each other. So you might notice some internal conflict, imbalances, frictions, because we all have all five elements in our bodies. But when we have these extra astrological experiences happening, like astrological weather, it does influence us. So that's why right now is a good time for you to cultivate balance. Find balance if within the air element and the earth element inside of your body. Take deeper breaths. Breathing from the belly is so powerful. Honestly, we think we need to do some fancy things, like do some fancy rituals, hit up a healer and do some advanced stuff, but sometimes all you need to do is just breathe and come back into your body, come back into the present moment, and bring alignment, awareness back into your body. Sometimes it honestly really is that simple. As humans, we love to get in our heads, and the ego just takes us on a crazy ass ride sometimes, right? And so connect with the element of air. Air is electric. Electric, we call, as humans, we learn to label that as divine masculine energy. And also connect with the earth energy of the Capricorn vibrations flowing in. And earth energy is magnetic energy, which we call feminine energy. We label that as humans. But at the end of the day, earth, air, fire, water, all of them, they're just electric and magnetic. It transcends the labels and boundaries and perspectives that we put on divine feminine and masculine. Again, it's getting nuanced and thinking outside of the boxes that we've placed. Sometimes the boxes are helpful to help us to digest the information, but sometimes we need to understand when they are no longer being helpful. And so connect with balancing your divine feminine and masculine energy during this super full moon. We're actually hosting a super full moon ceremony with Goddess Mary Magdalene. And why are we connecting with Goddess Mary Magdalene during this specific full moon? Because the Mary Magdalene feast day was on July 22nd when she was venerated and celebrated. It's really fascinating because if we look at the story of Mary Magdalene, the religion, Christianity, Catholicism has put this label and shamed Mary Magdalene for being a prostitute. And then it's fascinating because hundreds of years later, in a very hush-hush way, the label of her being a prostitute was taken out of the Bible, but it was so hush-hush, like they just did it nonchalantly. And so now she's actually being celebrated. And it's the same thing with the divine feminine and masculine imbalances happening in our world. Right now we're seeing a lot of greed, we're seeing a lot of violence, we're seeing a lot of control, a lot of censorship coming up to the surface. And these are shadow aspects of the divine masculine. And the divine masculine and feminine have been so out of balance for way too long. And now we're slowly starting to bring back balance to this divine feminine and masculine. And again, I am not referring to sex and gender. We are talking about these principles and the principles that are related to magnetic and electric energy. And so with Mary Magdalene, one of the reasons why she was able to call back her power despite being labeled as a prostitute and being persecuted after Yeshua, Jesus, was murdered, is she actually kept hold of the teachings. She held the sacred teachings, and she was in the caves of France, in southern France, still holding on to these teachings, preserving this wisdom. And it's going to be so beautiful when certain religious texts that belong within the Christianity teachings are released to the public. So just like right now we're seeing UFO information being disclosed to the public, we're also going to see Christianity, Catholicism releasing information about the divine feminine to the public, like the practices of Yeshua's grandmother, Anna. You know, she was a divine ascended master herself, and she had such profound understanding of unconditional love, of enlightenment, and all of these teachings. And when we're ready, when we start to bring this balance to the divine feminine and masculine, those teachings will be available to the collective. And so one of the ways that we can accelerate this awakening process, where we can bring in more pieces of the puzzle. Yes, masculine energy has been helpful, but we've forgotten a lot of the feminine history. But the more that we can connect with our feminine aspects, our divine magnetic energy, the more that this will rise up in the collective consciousness, and then eventually we'll end up to create harmony between the divine electric and magnetic energy, divine feminine and masculine energy. So that's what's so exciting about the times that we're living in. I know sometimes it's like, holy crap, what's going on? This is crazy. I need a timeout. I need a pause because this is too much. I feel you. And that's why resting, which is a principle of divine feminine energy, is so important, right? Like maybe just becoming still, resting, and again, finding that centered point is so important right now. So we're going to be hosting a full moon ceremony for the super full moon, where we will do an alchemy ritual with Mary Magdalene, who was able to call her power back by balancing and restoring the balance between her sacred feminine and masculine energy together. She's also a really wonderful mentor for connecting with our authentic self. So if you feel like you've been kind of feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome, or being a little bit afraid to share yourself, share your voice, share like yourself overall, like, you know, just being seen, then I recommend you work with Mary Magdalene. And in our full moon ceremony and meditation, we are going to be connecting with her to do an alchemy ritual to release imbalances within our feminine and masculine energy, and then to optimize our sacred feminine and masculine energy so we can be more creative, so we can take more divine inspired action in more easy and graceful ways. So that meditation is going to be on Monday, Moon Day, on Zoom at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And if you want to join us for that, you can find the information in the description of this video down below. Technically, the full moon energy is already coming in, because full moon energy always peaks 3 days before and 3 days after the moon goes full. But because this is a super full moon, which means that it's closer, we're going to feel it a lot more, and it'll definitely last longer than 3 days before and after. And one thing I did want to mention is that this super full moon is actually 222,158 miles away. So it's 222,000 miles away. And so again, we're seeing a numerology code being activated, just like the Lionsgate portal 88. So 2 in numerology, it represents partnership, cooperation, collaboration, harmony, and balance. Work with this theme of balance. What do you need to balance? Do you need to balance your mind and your heart? Do you need to balance your soul evolution with your human evolution? Because the ego is also evolving, right? So we can't just let the ego aside and forget about the ego. The ego is meant to also be evolving. It's not meant to be destroyed. So try to figure out like where you need to bring more balance and harmony into your life. And again, if you want to join us for our full moon meditation, we will do some of that alchemy work focusing on balance. Just also want to say thank you so much for your support, because without your comments, your shares, your likes, without you coming to our full moon meditations, coming to the retreats, I wouldn't be able to do this work. So I really appreciate you for helping me to do this work, and thank you for coming back to Earth at this powerful time of transformation. I know it's not very easy right now because we're purging a lot at a soul level since the June solstice, but remember to be gentle with yourself, honor your emotions, don't judge them, don't get stuck in the head, but breathe out, and just allow your emotions to flow. Happy super full moon, and I hope to see you at our full moon ceremony this Monday. Much love, everyone.